Praising God. Because my dad's a pastor, innit? So it's like, he just told me to praise God. As long as you pray to God, with everything will be all right.
Staying in education and going to uni is important.
There's a heavy emphasis on getting high grades, making sure, like, you know what job you're gonna have. Like, the question was always, oh, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time?
Getting a job and earning money was the most important thing in life because you need money to do well in life.
Use your manners.
For me, it was to study hard, get good grades and go to university.
For my parents and my family, they said the most important thing for me is to grow up, get married and have a family.
I think there are a lot of expectations on this generation. That, like, I guess the older generations had the same expectations, but I feel like it's more difficult for our generation because all of a sudden exams are being made harder. We're expected to get like a house and a job when the pricing for houses has gone up by a ridiculous amount. But yeah, like, it showed in the fact that you could see people struggling more with their mental health, they're being more open about it. So
difficult question, I'm thinking of it. I'm not sure. I don't know if I can say I'm sure about that one because it depends on the type. Because I feel like every type of culture has a different type of standards for some people. But I'll say in my culture, kind of.
That our generation cares less about that type of thing because either we are career driven or we care more about, you know, our hobbies and things like that, rather than meeting someone, getting married, having kids.
They're definitely not accurate. I'd say people expect our generation to be lazy, ignorant, inconsiderate, rude, and that's just not the case most of the time. Obviously there's a few people, but I find people 40s and over to actually be the most rude people I've ever met. So
I think most people expect, like, this generation, as I said, to like go to university, carry on, but obviously everyone leads quite different lives. Like, I know a lot of people that are like married already, have kids, and they're only like 21. But I think majority of expectations may be correct, but obviously everyone's going to have different opinions.
No, I feel like the older generation expects us to be really great and fix all their problems and look after them, and to be honest, I don't really care for them. They basically ruin the planet, so not my problem.
See, I want to say like 30, because even though it used to be in the 20s, it's so difficult to get a house nowadays, and also finding someone who I could actually tolerate enough to live with would be pretty damn difficult.
I'll say from late 20s will be okay if you're ready for that, but I don't really judge, and when you're ready, you're ready, innit? I wouldn't say for everyone it has to be a certain age. Some people get ready sooner than later, isn't it? But ideally for me, it would rather be later.
Whenever you're ready, really, like, I don't have no set age in my mind when I want to settle down, but I know people younger than me who are already having kids, that are renting out houses. I know people older than me who have, like, you know what, still yet to even think about it, they're having fun with their lives. So whenever people feel ready, really.
I don't think there's an exact age. I definitely don't think about that. I sort of just seeing where life takes me.
Roughly about 26, 27, 28.
No kids in my future, that's for sure. Settle down, hopefully by 40s, 50s.
25, 26.
As a minority, you have to work twice as hard to be half as good, to get half as much as they have.
That I'm in like a happy situation.
Definitely money, because money leads to happiness, no matter what people say.
I think that the most important thing in life is happiness.
The ultimate most important thing in life is to be happy, but in order to be happy, obviously you need other things, like a nice job that you enjoy, family and friends around you, like a decent house, not having to worry about money.
I think the most important thing in life is money. and family and happiness.
Financial stability.
I think just to mainly like make sure you're happy and have a stable life, as in stable income, but most important thing would be happiness to me.
I think about it sometimes, but I think I'm more sort of career driven.
Well, I'm single, so it depends how lonely I get that day.
Not often, because I'm in a pretty happy relationship currently with my boyfriend. Almost 2 years, going strong.
Well, now every day, innit? Because I have a boyfriend now.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Like every single day. Every single day for me.
I'm happy being single, don't really think about it.
I was 25 all the bloody time. But after being 25 and having a boyfriend, not even remotely, I'm way happier being single.
This is fake. They just give you what they want you to see.
No, because if someone's going to post them having a bad day or crying, then people are going to be like, that's for attention. So they're just going to post the good stuff.
Yeah, sometimes what you're posting is the truth, because if something good happens or if you're really excited, you'll post about it. But I think sometimes people make things up just to make it seem like their life is exciting. Like they want to show off to everyone.
No, definitely not.
After that Khloe Kardashian picture thing, we all know it's a lie. I've been knowing it was a lie, but majority of the time it's a scam. The editing and everything they're not as happy as they claim to be.
I think sometimes it can be the truth, but it's definitely only the good parts of life. People don't tend to put the bad parts of life, so it definitely gives off this impression that everyone's lives on there are perfect, but that's not the truth.
It's all a lie! It's sugar-coated with a filter, and yeah, very few people post when they're actually struggling.
I think yes, because social media definitely seems like a competition of who's got the best life, and I think that when your life doesn't meet the same as what you see on social media, it can definitely affect you.
It definitely affects how I feel, because I'll see something and think like, oh, they've got such a happy relationship, a happy life.
So I don't really follow many influencers. It's mainly in terms of like camera work. I see a lot of people who can actually edit photos and use Lightroom, and that makes me sad because I can't.
Not as much as it used to, but like definitely, because you see all these people, they only show the good things in social media. So all you see is everyone's best parts of their lives. And even though you know that, deep down you're like, oh, I wish I had that.
I feel like social media does affect some people. Me certainly it doesn't affect. I just follow the trends.
Sometimes, but not all the time. I feel like when it comes to like relationship stuff, then yes. Or like going on holiday stuff, yes. But majority of the time, no.
Sometimes yes, like sometimes it's a positive impact, sometimes it's got like a negative impact when you can see people like my age being ahead of myself in life. But I'm also very good at reminding myself social media is pretty much just people only show the good side of their life. So often I'm very good at calming myself back down and being like, haha, that's fake. You're good.
Immature.
Sensitive.
Snowflake.
Disappointing.
Complicated.
Snowflake!
Dumb.
And we're being known as the snowflake generation for actually speaking up about problems that we have and holding people accountable for their unacceptable behaviour.
Some people within this generation feel like those who have come before us have ruined the environment and have left us to make big decisions about our future that inevitably have been made harder because of their choices. This is something we hear quite a lot from our generation, that we feel unsupported, misheard and dismissed for our very real concerns.
No, I don't want to grow up, I guess, because my parents and everyone that I know that has grown up, they're pretty boring and self-conscious about themselves. So I'd rather just go for flow and just be myself as much as I can.
Now because everything happens for a reason and take time and don't rush things. And yes, because time doesn't wait for anyone.
Funnily enough, no. My family are very much a kind of go with the flow kind of family. My mom, my grandparents, they all seem kind of happy as long as I'm happy.
No. My mum wants me to chill out.
I think my parents definitely pack the pressure to get my life together, sort it out, get a job, move out.
Not so much people I know, but I think social media has a big part in that. I think that there's a lot of pressure for young people to grow up faster than they normally would.
And I feel like after uni I'm going to be looking for a grad scheme straight away. I've already got to save money for that, and yeah, I definitely feel like I'm already running out of time.
Well, obviously it's still a very early stage in my life. I can't really rush things. I feel like if it's meant to be, it will be. If it's meant to happen, it will happen. That's what I go by.
Not kids, not marriage, but career-wise, I feel like everyone's like, it's who you know, and I know no one. So I feel like I need to quickly try and get into the career I want to get into as soon as I can, rather than later.
No, because I'm still young.
So I don't want marriage or kids. So for them, no. But for career, yeah, because I feel like even though I'm only 19, I feel like I should already know what I want to do as a career, and I have no idea, and it's kind of scary.
I think that I don't, because I don't really care about those things as much. I don't care too much about settling down and having kids.
I'm not rushing to get into the kind of married, kids, job. Like, there's still a lot of things I want to do in life, like going around, traveling.
You can't love somebody else until you love yourself. This is one thing out of many that this generation has to discover and understand very early to figure out their path in life.
Yeah, I think mainly because of what I've seen on like social media.
In a way, yes, because I don't want everything. I don't want a big house, mansion, blah, 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 but I would like to be successful and just have enough money.
I don't feel the need to have it all, because as long as I'm happy with what I have, I'll be grateful for that.
I feel like enough to get by in life with maybe a few extras.
No, because I'm only young.
Part of me, yeah. But at the same time, I know it's an unrealistic expectation or want to have everything.
Well, why can't he have it all?
Yeah, sometimes, and it's not gonna impact in the future.
Oh yeah, I feel like if you say no, then I'm glad you're mentally stable, but I'm constantly worrying what I'm dressed like, what I'm walking like. Am I gonna get discriminated today? Am I not? Like, it's just a daily thing that you just have to go through.
I think me and a lot of other young people overthink our decisions a lot, but most of the time I'm happy with the decisions that I make.
Sometimes not. Like, it's a mixture of overthinking weird situations, like, oh, did that conversation go the way I think it went? Did it like, and start panicking about it after? Whereas other times I'm like, hey, it's in the past. Don't care about it no more, move on with it.
Yeah, I do. I overthink quite a lot anyway as a person, but like if I'm not doing work, like I'm behind on quite a lot of my deadlines, but I do like think to myself, like, why am I just, obviously everyone at uni like has fun and like drinks, parties, but I do kind of worry about it.
All the time.
I feel like mostly academically I'd tend to overanalyze myself, but with everything else, not really.
I definitely do sometimes, because there are always people out there that are worse off than you are, or people who have experienced more than you have, but also I think that just because someone out there has bigger problems than you doesn't mean that your problems aren't valid.
No, because we've survived financial crises, pandemics, people getting kicked out of parliament, loads of protests. Like, I think we've had it bad.
Not guilty as such.
Sometimes you just need to vent, you need to complain about the hardships you're going through. I feel like, especially when you're a student, people are all like, oh, these are the best years of your life, and it's like, yeah, but we still have struggles. It's all relative.
Sometimes, but sometimes you have to complain to release the tension of life, I guess.
I've never really thought of that, but I guess in a sense, yeah, because you're complaining about something and you don't know where it's going to lead or what's going to happen. So you could be complaining about a life that ultimately ends up really good.
As long as I'm happy with whatever it is that I'm doing, I believe that I'll be successful, as long as I'm happy.
Financially stable and happy, and a dog.
Success looks like more money, more friends, more family, more life.
This is going to sound weird, but like a 3-bed house with nice big rooms, even though it's probably just going to be me living there. A nice job with a shit ton of money, and friends and family around me, so I'm never alone.
Having a career that you enjoy, being happy, earning like stable amount of money for what you want to do and like what you want to have.
Financial stability, getting a good job, buying my own house, ideally married with kids.
Success in a life for me is, having a roof over your head, having food on your table, and just being happy.
I think I'm successful in terms of that I'm happy with what I'm doing currently, but I'm not where I want to be. So I think that I am on the right road to being successful.
Not yet, because I'm still in university, so.
No. I'm not currently successful.
No, definitely not.
I'm doing pretty good at uni right now, so as I'm being successful, but I also feel I could be better.
Definitely with big decisions, I feel a lot of pressure to pick the right thing, but I think that once I've made a decision, I just like to remind myself that everything happens for a reason and that I can't change what I've already said or done.
So every choice, like especially career-wise or just in general really, like is this going to benefit me? Do I want it to benefit me if it's going to hurt someone else? Like it's just basically how is this going to affect my future in the long run?
I'd say occasionally.
Yeah, because it's like, what if I make the decision now to do something and this could affect me forever and I hate it?
I wouldn't say I get stressed about it. I can maybe be upset or annoyed, but I wouldn't say stressed.
No, I don't feel guilty about complaining about my life. I think that the ages of like 18 to 25 are probably the hardest because you're still trying to find your feet, you're still trying to like find your place in the world. You're at the point where you're probably at your poorest because you've just bought a house and you can't afford to do anything. You don't have that money cushion beneath you, and you haven't really settled into exactly who you are as a human.
It can be a very lonely time going through a quarter-life crisis. It's something that many people don't talk about and don't acknowledge as an actual crisis. They just think it's teenage angst or young adult angst.
Again, I would say as a kid, it would really stress me out, like picking GCSEs, picking A levels, deciding whether to go to university or not, what my first career was going to be, because I really didn't want to be an apprentice, but there was literally no choice because it was the recession. That all really stressed me out at the time. But what I have discovered in terms of being an adult is that you can pretty much change it whenever you want, and it doesn't affect it anywhere near as much as you think it does.
They don't realise that many people are struggling with these decisions and that we're all in the same boat. And that the more we talk about it, the more it's accepted and the more we can support each other. Those who criticise our generation forget who raised it.